There's a lot of books coming out in July, and these are the top 8 books that I am anticipating the most. Stay tuned and find out what they are. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Zacks Books, and today I've got for you a July anticipated reads. So these are books that are going to be getting released in July. Obviously there's more than just the 8 I'm going to talk about, but these 8 are the ones that I'm most anticipating. We will link them down below if you are intrigued with any of them, if you want to take a look at them, kind of read more about them. I'm briefly just going to be pretty much reading like a little blurb from each one, because as you guys know, I don't really dig deep into thrillers or like horror novels like before like reading them. I like going into them blind, so I don't really dig deep into the synopses of the stories that I go into. So these are going to be quite vague, so don't give me any hate for not really describing them any further. I'm just pretty much reading a blurb. That's all I'm going to read for you. Well, and the title and the author and the release date. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get to book number 1. Alright, the first book I'm going to talk about is Kill All Your Darlings by David Bell. That book is going to be released July 6th. And when I read it, when I read the blurb, which I'll read for you right now. When a student disappears and is presumed dead, her professor passes off her manuscript as his own, only to find out it implicates him in an unsolved murder. I kind of get some like the plot vibes with that. In terms of like, it's somebody passing off a story as their own that belonged to somebody else, and bad implications are going to start happening. Again, like I said, I'm only going to be reading blurbs from these, so that kind of makes me think it's going to have some plot vibes, so that kind of gets me hooked on it. Never read anything by this author, but Kill All Your Darlings is probably going to be the first one, and that is again released on July 6th. The second book I'm going to talk about is Stranger in the Mirror by Liv Constantine. That is also being released July 6th. So Liv Constantine is also, it's actually 2 sisters. It's not like one person. So it's 2 sisters who kind of co-wrote a book. Last year I read The Wife Stalker. I believe I gave that 4 stars, maybe 5. Check out Goodreads down below for that rating. It's been a year, so I don't remember. But it was a really solid book, and I really did enjoy it. So the blurb for this one is a diabolically twisty, psychologically unsettling novel about a woman with no recollection of her past. So that's kind of like an amnesia type thing. A woman's going to wake up, not quite sure who she is, where she is. I mean, that's my assumption based off reading that. I'm all for that. So it sounds intriguing to me. Again, I have read a book by these sisters before, and I gave it a pretty decently high rating. So, we'll see how this one is. That is Stranger in the Mirror by Liv Constantine, out July 6th. Alright, the next book up is Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. That book is released July 13th. There's a couple other ones that are released on the 13th as well, so July 13th is going to be a big release day for me. So, as you know, Grady Hendrix, I've read plenty of books by him. I have read, and I'm blanking on it, Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which is a 5-star book. My Best Friend's Exorcism, which is a 5-star book. Horror Store, which was, I think, 3.5, possibly 4. The only other one I haven't read by him is We Sold Our Souls, which is kind of like a it's kind of like a metal rock group, I think, that sells their souls. That I'm not 100% accurately sure on, but it's a book I'll get to eventually. But the blurb for this one is, in horror movies, the final girls are the ones left standing when the credits roll. They made it through the worst night of their lives. But what happens after? So my assumption is going to be that it's kind of like a support group for the girls that survive these traumatic events. And it's kind of what they do with their lives afterwards. I will say the subgenre of final girls has been terrible for me. I have not liked any Final Girl stuff, which is weird because I love them in movies. Alien, probably one of the best horror movies I've seen. I would call Ripley a Final Girl. She survived, and I absolutely loved it. It was a great movie. For some reason, it just has not worked well for me on the page. So, one of my favorite authors, Grady Hendrix, is tackling a book like this, and I'm really hoping that it works, because everything Grady Hendrix has written that I have read has been really solid. So, hopefully he got the final girl trope down, and I will be able to enjoy this book. So there you have Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, released July 13th. Alright, fourth book I'm going to talk about is Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda. This is another book that is released July 13th. This is an author I have not read before, so again, another author I'm going into kind of blind, which I've kind of had success with. Darcy Coates, Anya Elleborn, Grady Hendrix. You know, I've hit some surprise authors in my time, so maybe Megan Miranda could be one too. Who knows? But the blurb from this one is a new riveting suspense novel about a mysterious murder in an idyllic and close-knit neighborhood. Let's see. It says here on the bottom, a twisty locked box thriller that will keep you turning pages late into the night. I mean, I like page turners. If it's going to be a good one, then why not? And it seems mysterious and chilling. They use some nice wordage there, so got me kind of hooked. So obviously we're going to take a look at this book. Another one released on July 13th with the Grady Hendrix book, and I think there might be one or two more released on the 13th, which you'll see in like probably 5 seconds. So, but yeah, there you have Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda, released July 13th. Alright, the fifth book I'm going to talk about is The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas. This is released July 13th as well, and it is a YA horror book. I did read one last year. It was Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Caesar. Really solid book. I gave it, I think it was 5 stars? I think it was 5 stars. But it was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. So, I'm very excited to dig into this one because it's another YA horror. And let me read you the blurb. 16-year-old Jake Livingston sees dead people everywhere, but he can't decide what's worse, being a medium forced to watch the dead play out their last moments on a loop, or being at the mercy of racist teachers as one of the few black students at St. Clair Prep. Both are a living nightmare he wishes he could wake up from. I mean, it sounds really exciting and very intriguing for me, because I really kind of like the whole like seeing dead people kind of thing. The kid from Later has that ability where he can see dead people for a little bit, uses the power to help solve a crime, and obviously bad things happen with him at the very end, or the last one he has to deal with. Very exciting stuff. I'm very intrigued to get into this book. Again, like I said, YA horror. Clown in a Cornfield last year was really good. Really enjoyed it. Might do this as a buddy read with Danielle. I think she read Clown in a Cornfield too last year. But we didn't read it together. We read it separately. But maybe we'll do this as a buddy read. We haven't done like a full-on buddy read in actually a little while now. But yeah, so there you have The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas, released July 13th. Alright, the sixth book I'm going to talk about is The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig. This is going to be released on July 20th, so we are finally out of July 13th. So I have not read anything by this author, and the blurb says, a family returns to their hometown, into the dark past that haunts them still, in this masterpiece of literary horror. Anytime like a family is involved, I get a little bit more intrigued because obviously The Shining, the father goes crazy, wife is frantic, the kid has got a cool ability. I'm sure this is probably not going to be like the same type of deal, but anytime a family's involved, it's usually pretty cool. Amityville Horror, family's involved, really masterful book. So I am very intrigued to get into this one. Again, have not read anything by this author, but I mean, the cover looks really cool with this book, which obviously you saw a second ago, or you are seeing now. At some point when I'm talking about this book, you'll see the cover over here. You'll see the cover somewhere. But there you have The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig, released on July 20th. Alright, book number 7, For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. This is going to be also released on July 20th. This is another author that I have not read, and this is also one that Danielle has also not read. Maybe we'll do this one as a buddy read. Who knows? But the blurb on this says, USA Today bestselling author Samantha Downing is back with her latest sneaky thriller set at a prestigious private school, complete with interfering parents, overeager students, and one teacher who just wants to teach them all a lesson. I don't know how to take that. I mean, is the teacher like a harsh teacher? Are they like a murderer? I don't know. But I'm hopefully going to find out around July 20th. Whether or not I've got no guess as to what that could mean. Obviously, if it's a teacher wanting to teach them a lesson, I'm sure it's probably some teacher who's evil. So that's going to be my guess. So there you have For Your Own Good, Samantha Downing, released July 20th. All right, and the final book I'm going to talk about is Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina. This is going to be released July 27th. I have read a couple books by her, The Couple Next Door, Unwanted Guest. I think I might have read a third one, but those are the only two I remember. I know Danielle and I did a buddy read with The Couple Next Door, and we actually had just discussed that we kind of thought that the dad in that book was kind of reminded us of Jack Geller from Friends. Don't know why. That's just like who we both pictured, and we actually didn't even discuss that at the time that we read it. We actually just discussed it maybe 10 minutes ago. But it's kind of weird. But anyway, this book is called Not a Happy Family, and the blurb on this says, in this family, everyone is keeping secrets, even the dead. Brecon Hill in upstate New York is an expensive place to live. You have to be rich to have a house there, and Fred and Sheila Merton certainly are rich. But even all their money can't protect them when a killer comes to call. Sounds pretty intriguing to me. Rich family being tortured. I mean, I don't wish that upon anybody. But it makes for an intriguing story, and I have read two things by Sherry Lapina, and both have been 4 stars or higher, so going into this with high expectations, high hopes, hopefully it delivers, and like I keep saying for all the other books, maybe this will be the one Danielle and I buddy read, because we both have read Sherry Lapina. Who knows? If you hear fireworks going off right now, it's, I don't know why, but whatever. The cover looks pretty decent as well. Again, something that you'll be seeing right now or have already seen. Whatever. Don't know how we're going to do the graphic for that. But yeah, there you have the last book there's probably other books I'm excited about, but these are the 8 main ones. And there you have Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina, released July 27th. All right, there you have the 8 books I'm most anticipating for the month of July. Obviously, there's probably a couple more that I'm just not remembering or we didn't look up or anything like that. I'm sure there's more. But those are the main 8 that I wanted to discuss with you. And I'm not saying they're like books I'm going to for sure be reading, but they're ones that I'm intrigued to read, which I might do in July, August, I don't know. Again, we will link all 8 of them down below if any of those sound intriguing to you. Yeah, what are some July releases you guys are excited about? Make sure you let me know in the comments down below. Name some that I may not have said, and maybe I'll take a look at them. You never know. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.